Diddy's attorney, Mark Egio, has just released a statement addressing the shocking allegations Kim Porter made against Diddy in her leaked memoir. Meanwhile, a close friend of Kim Porter is finally coming forward with tapes she gave him before her death, and what's on them is absolutely mind-blowing.
The title? Kim's Lost Words. It's currently a bestseller on Amazon, and it's filled with explosive claims that her 2018 death was due to foul play. Passages are filled with details of physical abuse, sexual coercion, and other acts of violence Combs allegedly committed against Kim. Now, their 4 kids are speaking out, denouncing it as lies. Quote, "Claims that our mom wrote a book are simply untrue. The book, riddled with typos and written by a man using a pseudonym, contains alleged first-hand diaries and notes from Kim talking about Diddy, including, quote, 'Out of nowhere, he hit me with a chair. I don't remember anything after that until I woke up in a hospital room. My arm was in a cast. As I came to, the first face I saw was of the man that put me here.'"
When I lost Kim, it broke my heart forever.
Was a house really a home when your loved ones is gone?
Diddy's lawyer calls the alleged memoir fake and offensive. It also marks the first time Quincy, Christian, and the twins, Jesse and Delilah, have spoken out since their father's arrest, saying, quote, "The cause of her death has long been established. There was no foul play." According to the autopsy report, Kim died of natural causes from lobar pneumonia, which is an infection of the lungs.
Diddy's relationship with Kim Porter spanned nearly 2 decades, beginning in the early 90s and officially ending in 2007. 11 years later, in 2018, Kim tragically passed away from pneumonia. But from the start, her death raised suspicions. While Diddy publicly expressed his love and grief, those close to him painted a very different picture. According to insiders, their relationship was abusive, and shocking claims emerged that Diddy allegedly trafficked Kim Porter to other men.
That smothering her with the pillows and all that, like he playing with her. I know she was tired.
Yeah, he also told Rolling Stone that Diddy, he's a jealous person that don't know what love is.
He knows that, bruh. Kim couldn't have nobody, bruh. Kim couldn't have nobody. You understand what I'm saying, bro? Diddy could do whatever, Puff could do whatever he wanted to do, Brother Love could do whoever he wanted to be. If Kim ever tried to get with somebody, Puff would interfere with them or with her trying to be with them. He wasn't letting that happen. Unless he was bringing them to the picture. That's what he used Kim for, bro. He wanted to make a deal with somebody. He'll get another girl and a guy that he's trying to make a deal with, and him and Kim, they all party together, man. He used Kim for that shit, bro.
Wow, so he used Kim for that?
Yeah, bro. Yeah. You don't do that to somebody you're supposed to love, man.
Do you remember any situation where he used her for that?
I know a couple situations, but I know the people so well, man, and so good, and they some good people in Atlanta that had major groups that they party like that with them and their girls or the girls they brought into that, and I'm not gonna mention their name, man. But they know who I'm talking about. I got a lot of respect for dude, but I know of situations. I've seen situations like that in the Swiss Hotel.
So what are some of the situations? Don't name the people, just what's the situation?
When he used Kim, to party with him and his girl and the other dude, and they switch up, they do their thing, they do they do that rock and roll lifestyle, bro.
So he was using her for sexual activity, like orgies and, threesomes and stuff like that.
Yeah. With other girls, other guys, yeah.
An unedited copy of Kim Porter's memoir has been submitted to the FBI by Courtney Burgess, along with 8 explicit tapes and 11 flash drives. According to Courtney, Kim Porter gave him these tapes before her death, and he recently turned them over to the FBI after being subpoenaed in a federal case. Allegedly, Kim detailed how Diddy was orchestrating his trafficking operations in her book, and now that book is in the hands of prosecutors.
And those statements include descriptions of what the witness says he saw on those tapes. So I asked him about that, and he answered what he could. given the limitations imposed on him after testifying before the grand jury. Out of those 8 videos, 8 celebrities, 6 men and 2 women, how many of those 8 celebrities were close to being underage or potentially underage?
2 males.
2 males. And of those 8 celebrities, how many of them were intoxicated or under the influence of drugs?
This is going to be all speculation. I just want to preface it by he wouldn't know if they were. Right.
Sure.
Appear to
Let
be.
me rephrase
Right.
it.
Based on, yes.
Understand. Out of the 8 celebrities who were recorded having intimate relations with Sean Combs, how many of them appear to be either inebriated or intoxicated or under the influence?
All of them. All of them.
Out of those 8, how many appear to be potentially victimized? How many might have been victimizing?
I think all, to be honest, all.
Were victims
They
or
victims.
were perpetrating?
Victims.
They were all 8 were victimized.
Yeah.
Meaning
Victims.
this was happening to them and they were inebriated.
Right. Not knowing, I guess, how much proof it was in it of what they was doing.
You made a lot of allegations, right? Are you expected to eventually turn those things over, or
Well, that's what we're going to head over to do now. So we have a hearing now to determine what we're going to do in terms of what documents we'll have to turn over and what documents we do not.
So why were you reporting?
Just to give testimony to the grand jury. He was subpoenaed by the court, so as we all know, if we don't answer a subpoena, the marshals will come to your house as they came to his house and they will bring you here. So that's why we're here today.
I know you can't mention celebrities per se. You did mention some in the interview. So just to clarify, you can back that up with actual factual footage.
We have, it's things that we have, but we got to go to the other courthouse. So I don't know if that's any more questions, but we kind of got another hearing to go.
Are you nervous or do you feel cool?
Nah, I ain't never nervous. The only thing that's fair to me is God.
I know you did mention what was on the flash drive before. Would you be able to kind of go over that now, or is that something that you can't discuss?
No, we're trying to go to discuss that now. What we will be able to talk to in terms of what was available and what was on those flash drives.
Okay.
But it was the book.
So it is Kim Porter's book, but not necessarily some of the stuff with the celebs that were mentioned besides.
It's hers. Nobody touched it.
Oh, so it is her official book.
Yes.
And no one touched it.
Nobody altered it. Nothing.
So it's not the copy that the gentleman said that he was selling before. No.
No.
It's 2 different copies. That one was edited, and we have the original.
Interestingly, some of the same individuals Diddy allegedly forced Cassie to have sex with have also come forward. In May 2018, Jonathan A. was arrested in connection to a shooting at Trump's National Doral Golf Course in Miami. During his interrogation, Jonathan claimed that Diddy had been using him as a slave and that the so-called gay mafia in Hollywood was coercing him into committing crimes.
Diddy and Ross, which they good buddies, okay? They're gay.
Who?
Both. Diddy and Ross. And Khaled. They're all gay. Okay?
DJ Khaled, Rick Ross, and P. Diddy?
Yeah.
They all gay?
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
Khaled is a Hamas supporter. Okay?
Who supporter?
Hamas.
Hamas. Yeah.
Sorry, I said it wrong.
No worries.
Hamas supporter. Okay? I had sex with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would masturbate and tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, and I heard a lot.
Hidden in plain sight.
It's hidden.
I think I see what you're saying.
Okay, how do I know this?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. How do you know this?
Diddy's attorney claims to have interviewed more than 49 witnesses who will testify against him. However, in his own words, he insists that prosecutors don't have any tapes. But that statement is a blatant lie, because we've already seen footage of Kevin Hart, Diddy, and Usher standing next to a sex worker at one of Diddy's infamous parties. If Diddy's legal team is getting caught in lies this easily, one thing is certain: he's never getting bail.
I believe it's one victim and 49 witnesses who saw this behavior. That's pretty powerful, though, to have that many people who have if they go to court and argue that they witnessed this behavior by your client?
Well,
what's your defense against that?
So my defense is very well established. I interviewed myself the different men who were being brought sort of into Mr. Combs and this person's intimate situation. I've flown around the country. I've interviewed a large number of them. There's not the slightest inkling, according to the interviews that I've done, of anything that's coercive, non-consensual. Nobody was too drunk. Nobody was too high. These were adults in a relationship. This is a 10-year relationship. We can't forget that. This is a 10-year relationship. And it was adults and consensual, and everybody who was there wanted to be there. So I feel very confident in our position.
You said you interviewed the men, but what about the women?
I haven't interviewed the woman's not available to me. She's presumably a grand jury witness, and we cannot try to interview a grand jury witness.
You said you're portraying this as adults who were at these events that wanted to be, I shouldn't even call them events, that's not certainly how anyone else would label it, but that they wanted to be there. But they also allege that they were recorded and essentially used as blackmail. Is that not true?
That's not true. That's not true.
How can you prove that when they have electronic evidence that, as they argue, over 90 cell phones, laptops, iCloud storage accounts, 30 electronic and storage devices, hard drives, thumb drives? Yeah. You're not worried about that?
Nope, because if they had it, they would have put it in the indictment.
Diddy, once the untouchable titan of hip-hop, has never been a stranger to controversy. His infamous all-white parties became the stuff of celebrity legend. Lavish, star-studded, and at times downright bizarre. But beneath the glitz and glamour, whispers circulated, rumors of after-parties so secretive that even Hollywood's elite kept their distance. Those whispers have now turned into a roar, with shocking allegations of sex trafficking and racketeering tied to these exclusive gatherings, events that insiders now refer to as something far more sinister.
At the center of the government's case against Diddy are his alleged freak-offs, which according to the indictment were elaborate and produced sex performances that Diddy arranged, directed, pleasured himself to, and often electronically recorded. But the freak-offs were first alluded to in Cassie's now settled federal civil lawsuit that was filed in November of last year and sets.
Unfortunately, the allegations don't stop there. In fact, they're only getting worse. Over 100 new lawsuits have just been filed against Diddy, and disturbingly, many of them involve minors. Houston-based personal injury lawyer Tony Busby, who is leading the legal charge, claims that some of the victims were as young as 9 years old when they were abused.
The woman was visibly emotional during the news conference as she recounted a horrific and violent assault.
The internal pain after being sexually assaulted has been incredibly deep and hard to put into words.
Talia Graves, sitting next to her attorney Gloria Allred, alleges Sean Diddy Combs and his former bodyguard Joseph Sherman drugged and raped her at Bad Boys Record Studio in 2001 when she was 25 years old.
I'm emotionally scarred. It has been hard for me to trust others, to form healthy relationships, or even feel safe in my own skin.
According to the lawsuit filed on Tuesday in New York, Talia was lured to the studio under false pretenses. She claims she was given a drink spiked with drugs, causing her to pass out. When she woke up, Talia says she was restrained and being brutally assaulted by Diddy and his bodyguard.
Flashbacks, nightmares, and intrusive thoughts make me feel like it's a constant struggle.
In 2023, Talia says she found out the rape had been recorded and through the years had been distributed to multiple people.
Defendant Combs and another defendant published and/or disseminated the videos without plaintiff's knowledge or consent.
Combs is facing at least 10 similar lawsuits. He remains locked up awaiting trial on human trafficking and racketeering charges.
I'm glad that he is locked up, but that's a temporary feeling of relief.
Talia says she didn't go public until now because she says that Combs allegedly threatened to ruin her life if she said anything.
According to Tony Busby, the lawsuits against Diddy name some of the biggest celebrities in the industry and executives from major American corporations. We already know that Diddy was caught bribing hotel staff during his stays with Cassie, but it looks like many more of his powerful associates are about to be exposed.
Since the day Diddy was indicted for sex trafficking and racketeering, we've been warning you, he's just the tip of the iceberg. Today we're being told a list of Diddy's accomplices will drop very soon. Powerhouse attorney Tony Busby just announced that more than 100 people are filing lawsuits against Diddy and others for sexual abuse. 24 of the victims are minors, one of them as young as 9 years old. Diddy allegedly used the promise of a record deal to lure that young victim to his recording studio, where the child was assaulted by Diddy and several others. Diddy's team says the allegations are meritless. But Busby says his upcoming lawsuits will be naming names.
The day will come when we will name names other than Sean Combs, and there's a lot of names. The names that we're going to name, assuming that our investigators confirm and corroborate what we've been told, are names that will shock you. They already know who they are. And I'm talking here about not just the cowardly but complicit bystanders. That is, those people that we know watched this behavior occur and did nothing. And I'm talking about the people that participated, encouraged it, egged it on. They know who they are. These defendants will not only include individuals, but will also include corporate entities who ultimately profited off of this culture and behavior. I'm looking at banks, pharmaceutical companies, hotels.
This string of lawsuits could shake up the top levels of corporate America and Hollywood. Another lawyer says some of Diddy's secret sex tapes are being shopped around. The tape features an A-list celebrity who doesn't seem to realize they were being recorded.
One celebrity now hinting at leaving Hollywood altogether is Ashton Kutcher. Back in the day, Kutcher was a regular at Diddy's infamous parties and had direct ties to Jay-Z. For him to suddenly distance himself now raises suspicions, especially considering that in 2023, he publicly supported convicted rapist Danny Masterson.
And I'm sure that's probably not public information yet, but who's the person that's number one on that invitation list?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
And I can get on that list,
yes,
right?
Without a doubt, you are invited.
That is so generous of you. Cheers to that.
See you at the White Park.
15, 14, 15. We're talking about 25 people so far out of 120 cases that we intend to file. I would expect there'll be a lot more cases than that. Let's not forget we're talking about behavior that took place over more than 25 years, all over the United States, but primarily in New York, California, and Miami.
And some of these names that I guess will be coming out, who allegedly aided and abetted Diddy and his twisted little escapades, are these names that I would know, that people would recognize? How high is this going up?
Certainly names that you would recognize. And let's think about the kind of people that would be involved in this. People that would be in the room, that would be facilitating this, egging this kind of thing on, encouraging this, participating, venues that were participating, sponsors, hotels, banks. Let's remember that a lot of people were being flown in from across the country and paid in cash. Obviously, that cash had to come somewhere. There had to be some explanation for taking out that much cash from the bank. We already know that there were a lot of drugs in play. So there are many facets of this. There are many people involved. There are many entities involved. And, the ones that really irked me, there's been a lot of focus on, well, who are the celebrities? Who are the celebrities? What I'm more focused on, obviously, to the extent there's a celebrity that it occurred at their house or that they were involved or participated, they will certainly be named. But what really irks me are those who profited off of this culture that was created and that just essentially ruined hundreds of lives.
And we're talking banks, we're talking record executives.
Record companies, other companies that were sponsors of some of these parties and after parties, clubs, hotels, you name it. This conduct was, this wasn't an annual party. This individual allegedly was partying 3 or 4 times a week, and these parties were wild. They were beyond your imagination, and they were nasty. And there were a lot of things going on that should not go on, and a lot of victims that were being subjected to exploitation and all kinds of sexual conduct that people just should not be subjected to.
All right, well, hopefully more people, alleged victims, come forward and we get the full accountability, because we want everybody who was complicit in this to pay a price if they were.
One of the main reasons many celebrities are worried about their past involvement with Diddy is because of what allegedly happened at his parties. Sources claim that both the drinks and baby oil at these gatherings were spiked with GHB and ecstasy, making guests more susceptible to engaging in activities they normally wouldn't. There are even rumors that this is why Kevin Hart acted the way he did in a recent video. Allegedly, he had been drugged.
Ashton Kutcher, he has a right to be kind of alarmed if he was doing things with Diddy. Remember they used to have that group called the what do they call it? The Brat Pack? With Diddy, him, and a couple other guys was hanging out. Leonardo, one other guy too. I forgot the other guy's name. So they all might be worried. His tape recorders went. His camera equipment was working. He was videotaping everything. So they might have that videotape already.
Other celebrities are also scrambling now that 2 of the biggest names in the music industry are being named in lawsuits. They know it's only a matter of time before they're dragged into this as well. Ashton Kutcher has already agreed to testify, while others are preparing to flee the country, like Ellen DeGeneres. Interview. Tony Busby, the lawyer behind over 3 dozen lawsuits against Diddy, has revealed that a long list of people were involved with him. According to Busby, these celebrities not only helped Diddy cover up the abuse he was allegedly committing, but, in some cases, also participated in it.
Everybody gets out, just being like, this is my thing. I'm used to this type of thing. Doing what I do best. Oh! Did the camera catch that? Got the camera! Got the camera! All right, okay. First of all, I know it looks bad with me running into the camera, okay? It was Puffy's party. He's called me, said, Kev, can you host a party with me? I said, yeah, dude, that's how I do it. He said, look, we creating this little sexy scene in the bathroom. I said, oh, that's gonna be hot. I'm promoting the party. I'm like, yeah, man, this is a nice event. You see, we up here in the tub. First of all, if somebody's hair is on fire, it's a panic. Yo, your hair. It should be crazy. This is all I heard. I heard, yo, your hair's on fire. I turned around, I saw it, I was like, oh! The flame grew, it was like somebody threw gasoline on it. So my first instinct was to save myself, because at the end of the day, I don't want to die. Weaves are the most flammable thing out. A weave, if there had been another girl next to it with a weave, that thing would have caught faster than the forest fire. So I just said, let me save myself.
You said I mentioned Justin Bieber. You didn't say I mentioned Kevin Hart.
Okay. Well, what's going on with Kevin Hart?
I don't know, man.
Oh,
the internet is going wild on him, saying that he was a curator and a narrator of one of the Diddy parties and got caught on tape. You hear that?
Wow. I didn't hear that one.
That must be one of your favorite. That must be one of your favorite comedians then. Cause you ain't hear that?
That was cool.
Huh?
I didn't hear it.
Get out of here.
That was cool, but I didn't hear that one. Must have missed it, man. I think I caught most of them.
I think he almost fell in the tub with one of the girls. Diddy had some girls in the tub, a tub of baby oil or something like that, and he almost fell in the tub. It was crazy.
He would be one of the celebrities that I definitely wouldn't think would be involved in anything illegal, for sure.
But you gotta realize this, man. People who get caught up in certain those things like that, those parties and things like that, is that They don't go there looking for that stuff. You gotta understand, they get caught up in the moment with the alcohol, the drugs, and then certain bottles that are laced with certain things that take you away from your normal self. And you end up probably doing something that you probably never do again in your life. You never get caught up in those things.
Other celebrities are also scrambling now that two of
the allegations against Diddy are mounting, and the newly uncovered footage has left his attorney scrambling for answers. With Kim Porter's memoir, shocking tapes, and witness testimonies now in the hands of prosecutors, one thing is clear: this case is far from over. What do you think about the evidence being revealed? Will justice prevail, or will Diddy's power and influence keep him out of reach?
That's that. Now, as far as Jay-Z's concerned, this could really go one of two ways. This might be an isolated one-off case that he has to defend, or potentially it could be a Me Too type situation where other victims come forward. Obviously, we saw that with Diddy and Cassie Ventura. So the coming days and weeks are really going to be telling. And Tony Busby says he has more than 100, maybe up to 300 victims he's representing. So it's going to be interesting to see if any of them also name Jay-Z.
And Nima, if such a high-profile name like Jay-Z has come out, could more celebrity names be tied to these lawsuits? What do you think we can expect?
No question. This may just be the first celebrity domino, and Jay-Z was unmasked as celebrity A, but let's not forget there's a celebrity B in that same lawsuit that allegedly witnessed the sexual assault, a female celebrity. And there was someone who went on CNN earlier this week and said that his sexual assault was witnessed by another celebrity as well. So I think we're going to see more celebrity names identified very soon.
All right, Nima Rani, thank you so much for joining us. As you said, this is one that has entered the court of public opinion. It's nice to have your actual legal